Good morning, good morning. You hear the birds out there. I am in Northern Virginia. It's Mike at digitalnomad.net, and I'm here to do a follow-up on my video, which I started a couple days ago actually, which I did, because Starlink was originally supposed to launch, what was it, like Monday, Tuesday, something like that. And I had a feeling right away that it wasn't going to launch because of the way that they were delaying their initial broadcast. And I want to hop on here just for a few minutes before they start theirs, which according to what I'm seeing is in about 4 minutes or 5 minutes. Usually they're delayed with their own time frames. So I had discussed a lot of the points of why this is important. If you believe in Elon Musk's story, he always has a story, you know, talking about interplanetary life and the necessity to make the human species multiplanetary. But I got to thinking even more after I made that video, and I do believe that at least in the short term, that Starlink is going to be the main beneficiary of this StarShip. Now, just to recap, in case you're not familiar, this is the largest rocket, or the largest potential payload of any rocket, or a combination of that will ever have been launched successfully if it works. The Russians tried something like this in the late 60s with all these multiple engines, like 30 engines. And it failed miserably back then. If one of the engines failed, basically the whole thing blew up. And in this case, they've been testing it, of course, and this is a reusable rocket in addition to one that's the largest ever. So if you think about it, you know, if you look at the history of Starlink, and Starlink is the worldwide internet service which has thousands of satellites all around the globe, circling the globe. You can get internet anywhere. It's a game changer, as you asked me, a game changer for real estate. I'm a licensed realtor in North Carolina. I'm in the Raleigh area if you're interested. But for me, it's a game changer for the most rural of real estate properties. I can remember, you know, back in the day, I'm 53 now, passing by potential purchases of real estate because this real estate didn't have internet. This was back in the early days of the internet, because I thought the internet was so important. It was so hard to get. And of course, Elon Musk has just leapfrogged this whole thing, and here's Starlink, and he's got a lot of people complaining, but the faster he can get more satellites up, the more coverage he's going to get around the earth, the more bandwidth, the better the service, etc., etc. And if you look back in the history of Elon Musk, he's always got multiple purposes behind things. Like, even if you look at Tesla, there's multiple stories, multiple layers. He's always got this thought out, it seems like, from the very beginning. And of course, then the rest of the people just figure it out later. Even with Tesla's full self-driving, which I'm just now getting in my car. If you're following my channel, I'm just now recording stuff. It's the car I've had for over 6 years, and it's just now getting it. He talks about all this stuff. He's way in the future, and I can relate to that because I usually am. But he is running these narratives that are these dream stories that get a lot of people just hooked on the message or the vision of what he's doing. And in this case with Starship, you know, I think it's going to work. I think it's going to be today. Like I said, I thought the other day that it wasn't going to be. The other day I thought that it just wasn't going to work that day, and then it turned out to be right. See, I've got 1 minute and 16 seconds according to the Starlink, to the SpaceX website. And actually, if you want to see that, here it is. This is where you want to go. Just go to the SpaceX website, and you can watch the live launch there. Anyway, let me just finish up with what I'm going to say. And for right now, what this is going to do, if it works, it's going to be reusable. You won't see the reusability today. They're going to, I think, just ditch the fuselage into the water north of Hawaii or something like that and retrieve it. They're not going to try to land it back down. And it's just going to orbit at a high orbit around the Earth and come back down, just like a proof of concept, basically, which I think is going to work. And they've got these gimbal rockets in the middle of all of the 33 rockets that they have, and then the rockets on the outside of the circle at the bottom of the fuselage are all fixed. So they can control this thing in all these different directions, just like they can control the Tesla cars and all this other stuff with the AI. You know, AI is a big buzzword. It's just computers. It's using intelligence, using sensors to figure it out and do it better than humans could do it, basically. And that's what's going to happen here. But what's going to happen with Starlink is, Starlink, if this works, which it will, it's going to prove to everyone that it's possible. Everyone's going to get excited about multiplanetary life and the necessity, according to Elon Musk. But even more so, Starlink is going to be launching more and more satellites at almost an exponential potential rate that what they've been doing, which has already been disturbing so many people. They say, they complain that you see these things blocking the night sky, can't see the stars because the Starlink satellites are up there. But I'll tell you, it's a game changer, total game changer for life. People are not forced to be in cities anymore. I've got, Denise and I have a Airbnb, glamping Airbnb up in the White Mountains of New Hampshire. There's been nothing reliable, nothing high speed. The whole time I've owned that property. Now we mounted it up on top of a tree, way up on top of a tree, using it as a tower, which is awesome, as long as it has a clear view of the sky. And now we've got, you know, high speed, reliable internet all the time, which is awesome. We're also putting that on La Casa Mas Alta, which is our other rental property. If you want to check it out, in Ecuador. It's also way in a super remote area. They don't have reliable service, they don't have high speed, but the dish is, we're tracking it. Hello Cedric, if you're out there watching. And it should be there any day now. And Cedric's going to put it on the tower, and the whole community is going to have reliable, high-speed internet. Another game changer. Go to lacasamasalta.org if you are interested in that. It's a totally vegan, permaculture, grow your own food, zero waste community. It's awesome. Okay, I think that we are almost ready. We're waiting. Of course, there's always a delay, isn't there? There's always a delay with these guys. Anything with Elon Musk has delay built into it. So let me know if you have any thoughts below. Let me know what you think's going on. But like I said, in the short term, what this is going to do is be the proof of concept for Starlink to expand at an almost exponential rate from a customer base perspective. That's what it's going to do. They're going to be able to put so many satellites up there. It's crazy. And this just means communications everywhere. The days of, I can remember calling people on landlines and having to pay by the minute to talk to people. It's crazy. So like whenever I talked to somebody growing up in the 70s and 80s, I knew exactly where they were at all times because they were attached to the wall. And even if they had like a cordless phone, it still went to a cord which was plugged into your house of residence, and everybody knew where you were. But those days are long gone. You can conduct business from anywhere. It's total freedom. You know, that's what this whole channel is based around, adigitalnomad.net. And thank you for joining us. Let other people know. I mean, this is what I kind of envisioned myself in 2016 when I started the channel. I'm like, look, we're at a point now where this can be done. And even the years before, leading up to 2016, I don't know if you guys know my history, but I started commuting from Raleigh to DC basically on a weekly basis, which shocked people back then. This is back in 2007, 2008 when I started that. And you know, as I saw that going, and I saw smartphones come out, and I saw reliable data service, I'm like, this is the next step, and this is where we're going. Now we've got a house out in the middle of the woods up in the mountains in New England that has awesome internet. We've got a place in a permaculture food growing community in Ecuador. It's going to have any day now the Starlink, and that's what this is about. Make no mistake about it. They're focusing on interplanetary life, but it is really, they're getting ready to start right now. And the necessity to make human species multiplanetary, but it's really right now about Starlink themselves. And let me know your experience with Starlink if you have a good or bad experience. But really the whole Starlink experience is having a clear view to the sky. And like I said, even if you have trees, you just mount the dish up on top of the tree. Thanks Jesse for doing that for us. So thanks for watching. Look forward to reading your comments, and look forward to watching the launch, and hopefully it'll be successful, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.